So I'm going to say that if I win, well, I love Palutena.
Yeah. So, we got Kresent and Mentos lining up. Kresent, I believe, beat Sheepgun to get here, and then Mentos had to beat at least Sen. I don't know if he had another match after Sen to get here, but he had to beat at least Sen to get here. The Sheep God match versus Kresent was actually kind of close for one of the games. The other one, he got a little bit more comfortable and whopped him.
Oh, you're talking about which people?
Yeah, so Kresent had to play Sheep.
Oh, okay.
Whopped him.
Yeah.
Game 2. Game 2 was a whop. Mentos was on stream versus Sen. Kind of a whop as well, besides the taunt to clip combo. Mentos pulling out the Young Link more for this tournament. I don't believe he's pulling out the Cloud unless he has to. But given his set versus Sen, he actually did really well with the Young Link. Beat Sen, another kind of notable good player in the state with I guess a new character that he wants to pick up.
His brother Young's, he does play the character, so he might be learning.
Oh, so if you didn't know what they're doing, him and his brother are swapping mains today.
Oh.
So he's playing Young's main. Young's is playing Cloud and Roy.
I heard that, but I thought it was a joke.
No, they're actually. I had to play Young's Roy to get here, and it was close. Like last hit.
So
Young's is Roy. I thought it's extremely good.
This is one of those fun ultimate matchups where you know that's going to take a little bit just because the nature of the characters. Fortunately for Mintos, he did choose a character that can have more aggression when necessary and pull back when he wants to.
I do know some specifics about Mega Man. I was looking some stuff up. His up B, he actually starts rising and he bounces off rush at frame 7, and he has like 4 frames of intangibility when he bounces off of rush. So you have 6 frames of leeway for all of your combos. Everything else is very not that good for his escape options. So you have to be airtight, and Young Link likes to do airtight combos. And there are certain characters like Inkling who don't like frame 1 escape options because not all of their stuff is super true. Like, it's very iffy. Young Link's is also kind of the same way, but that actually goes to his benefit.
Now, this is like a type of matchup where even though Kresent is falling a little behind on this first stock, Mega Man is one of those characters that even when they're behind, they can actually start sizing up a comeback just through, I guess, not to say camping, I guess zoning is the better word to use. Using zoning methods from behind, they can mount a comeback. And we talked about it in the car for a little bit, actually, that Kresent is actually a little comfortable with his edge guards, making comebacks as well. I believe Sans 2 weeks ago, he actually made a lot of Game 5 comebacks, including on you, I think.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, he didn't. He
was it Game 5?
I just lost.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some things about this matchup. They're both heavy projectile users, so I don't know. Usually, I'd say that Mega Man has an edge in all and a bunch of other zoners because he basically, because he can summon more projectiles than any other character can. So because of that, I feel like his pellets would probably just outzone him. But obviously, it's just find a way right now.
To keep in mind that, granted, if it was a projectile v projectile matchup, just based on projectiles, I would give Mega Man the edge here. But the fact that Young Link has fast options like Nair, forward air, all these combo starters as well, that's how we see Mentos take this earlier leads in the stocks. But usually around when it gets to, let's say, 100%, if he doesn't close it out, that's really where Kresent's kind of bringing it all the way back.
Because Mega Man he has much more consistent kill options. You know, they're not incredible. Young Link does have a lot of setups that are somewhat reliable, but a lot of people do say that he has a little bit of trouble killing.
Unless you get the down tilt. If you get the down tilt, then
he doesn't really have trouble killing, but he does kind of have trouble killing. It's just like a thing. But
kind of just a straight hit every now and then will take a stock, maybe a Nair near the ledge would actually do it.
That was extremely clean. Yeah, Mintos is slowing it down. He really isn't he's not playing that fast. He's just trying to adapt to Kresent's speed because Kresent is trying to slow it down. He's just trying to, I think he's trying to make Mintos play faster than he is so he can back up and punish him for pushing more buttons than him. But Mintos is really good about changing his pace.
Now, you're a local here, right?
I mean, I guess.
You come to these more than we do, probably.
Probably the same amount, actually.
Okay. I just want to know, do you guys know, like, history-wise, how this plays out? Thank you.
I do not know. Well, you know what younglings think about this matchup, though. It's pretty even.
Okay.
Most of their opinions.
I mean, it's looking even, besides right now, but I mean, Kresent was in this exact same spot when he started bringing it back. Back row. Big forward smash. Forwarder, not take, surprisingly. Down there. He's just not getting that good hit.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, I feel like Market has a lot of better draw options than youngling. Nair killing like probably Mega Man like 120, 130 at the ledge.
Yeah.
Get up and then down tilt setups, force on the ledge. So it takes a lot of straight hits for youngling to get kills. But as we see, Mentos doing a perfect job at it.
This is exactly where Mega Man can still bring it back. Even though he's at 156, that rage actually helps with forward air, back air. That might be it though.
Yeah.
But the rage helps.
That's for sure.
Unfortunate, what was that, arrow up air? Oh, we got some history. Let's see. Let's get the history.
Okay, history on this. So, this is actually pretty interesting. So, overall, since Ultimate's release, Kresent is up 9-5. But since October, they've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and Mintos is up 4-1.
Granted, I would say that Mintos has had a bit of a glow up later in the game.
Yeah.
He wasn't really there.
He was there early, then kind of faded, and then sparked again. Like,
yeah.
real quick, so.
And I think right now he's on the comeback up. I know
yeah,
last
100%.
season he had, well, I guess last season, like 2 seasons ago now, you know, he was starting to, I guess, fade out from the spotlight. And now he's back in full force.
And like about halfway through the season, this past season, he started killing it, and he got ranked 10. And,
I believe at the last tournament he beat Toast, right?
Yeah, he won. He won.
He won Smash last.
Yeah, he won Sands.
Mintos is a perfect human being. It's crazy.
It is kind of crazy, actually. So one funny thing about Mintos that I was making comments yesterday, that cracked me up, is how close he sits to the TV. Actually, take a look at it. Because for a long time I was like wondering, why do I have such a hard time getting good angles of him on the screen? It's because he sits so freaking close to the TV, which is kind of awesome. I think it's funny. I've had like a lot of people like that in Melee, but not much in Ultimate. That's
Don't
right.
worry,
You gotta see every frame.
listen to this later.
Oh, he will. He's
like,
what's up, Mar? What's up, future Mar?
You really are kind of close. Crescent's like at least like a foot behind.
If you've ever watched the Moon in Melee play, he literally is like this, and it's not a joke. He plays like this. It is super awkward. Oh, Toast says it. The Toast man spreads really hard.
Yeah.
Just imagine Toast spreading and then the moon being like this.
Yo, that's actually top tier ultimate gameplay. We actually got into game 2 where we were discussing this. A lot more even than it was for game 1, but unfortunately that's going to change if Mentos closes out the stock with, I guess, one of the projectile setups into a kill. That could be actually a spot for it. Unfortunately, he just air dodged at the right time, but down tilt, up B, arrow into up B, arrow into up air. Like,
I think Mega Man has a lot of moves that help slow down this pace of Youngling. Because as you said, Youngling does have a lot of projectiles, but at this caliber of like level, you know, Kresent not being somebody random, he's gonna be able to play around them. But Hella, you know, Crash Bomber, and he's just, I feel like Mega Man has a good time of playing his own pace in this game.
that Nair just coming out. Just honestly here, just space with Nair, almost like a Link Nair, where you just kind of keep dropping on it. Because the only thing that might be able to beat it, besides obviously rolling at the right time, would be maybe get up attacking at the right time.
Big Link's Nair is crazy.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it on the car ride here from Charlotte about how crazy it is.
Speed when he drops down, like when he like manually moves it down.
But this is exactly where Kresent would want to be generally throughout the set. If he has that lead, it's a lot easier to play the Mega Man game.
And he can do whatever he wants now. He literally just...
the triple parry on the pellets was actually crazy. I think it's a lot easier. I don't know if he had to do manually press
I think
it.
manually because it's not a motion yet.
Okay, so yeah, it was actually good awareness on Mentos.
Maybe it is. I actually don't know.
Yeah, I believe because you said like it's not a multi-hit, it would likely make you do it 3 times. 1, 2, yeah, 3. I mean, this has been, other than how it started taking a turn for the worse for Kresent at the end of game 2. I mean, at game 1. This is actually a lot closer and a lot more doable for him. Maybe he's starting to get a little bit
If
more
you don't
comfortable.
realize, the pace of the game is going extremely slow. 3 minutes and a stock, it could go to a timeout, but I think they're going to...
I think
I've
Young
definitely
Link.
seen it, but
I think Young Link is the decider on that. It's really the Young Link's call to decide how he wants to play it in a way where it could go to timeout. Because if you want to play a game where you want to space out, even if you're behind, but you still want to commit to anything super dangerous, it will go to a timeout. But it doesn't look like Mentos is the kind of player who wants to let it go to that. Instead, he wants to press his will onto Kresent, make him not just stand in the back, have to go one-on-one and face-to-face.
no, I agree.
And down there. It was the lightest. He didn't even charge it. Just ready for the roll. I guess maybe since they have played so often, they might know that's a habit. Or I feel like generally in some situations where people feel uncomfortable, one of the quickest way they want to relieve pressure at the ledge is to roll. Because in theory, you are intangible for a few frames while you roll, so it feels safer, but it's kind of easier to punish if you're expecting.
Yeah. Mintos did have a solid lead in the Kresent. He's trying to bring it back, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get still that easily.
Wow,
That's not good.
I think that's a big boy.
The one thing is, Young Link does have a really hard time killing, but the thing is that his raw moves, even at later percents, do so much damage, that he can actually do like a burst dash attack or nair or something that will kill.
Yeah.
So, very solid character, but definitely Kresent is abusing the fact that he's just not really letting him approach too much. He's like walling him out a good, decent bit.
In this situation, like you were mentioning earlier, the projectile game that Mega Man has is actually a lot better in these situations because he can actually play that game where he can actually use these great projectiles to zone out another zoning character. Meanwhile, when he's coming from behind, he can't zone out another zoning character because usually other zoners have other options that aren't so heavily zoned.
Yeah.
Oh, Crash Bomber. Oh, just gonna shield it. Almost a shield break due to the knuckle coming out at the top. Using the Crash Bomber as well for the recovery. Just some good timing on Mentos to release the pressure.
How Young Link functions, it's basically an even game if he doesn't clean it up quickly because just one more combo will bring Kresent to about 70 or 80. And because of that, he'll just do a few more interactions. So if he does, Kresent's making sure that he doesn't get too much by being out of that. But the percentages are soon going to be... There's no way that's
not a good spot. But it's still not a good spot for Kresent.
So, definitely still can be, even if he doesn't die right here.
This is kind of a repeat of what we saw with FEMU versus Cow Hunter. I don't know why he keeps pressing so hard when he gets off stage. He wants to end it with like a forward air, back air, whatever. But look at the time. Look at the percents. Lucky for him, that forward smash definitely is going to seal it there. But why is he pushing so hard to go off stage to try to end it when he's in the lead and putting himself in a position where you saw he was almost stage spiked
I have to go to the
by upbeat? It's really dangerous to go out there. Granted, I understand if you hit it, it's over. But if you miss it, now you're in the bad spot.
It's like too much risk for the reward.
Yeah, because I definitely in those situations, we saw FEMU take advantage of the fact that Cow Hunter decided to go out instead of remain in center stage and just, not put himself in a situation where there is a lose condition. Instead, he pulled himself right at the ledge, got upbeat, and died at like 80 for it.
Yeah, Mintos just has to make sure he plays both players actually, they're playing for stocks, honestly. They're playing to keep stocks.
Yeah.
Not to take them. They just really want to make sure that they can just hold it. Because then your character can really rob you. Zero Suit, characters like Zero Suit and Rob, generally, they're the ones who actually rob you because they can actually just take them.
You're going to tell me that Rob robs people?
That's exactly what I said.
Thank you.
Okay, so the thing, so characters like Zero Suit, they don't do a terrible amount of damage and they can have a little bit of hard time hitting you. So they just make up for it. These characters, they just, they can rack up percentage. They can have, it's not much as Mega Man, but he just has a really solid keep away game, so generally he can just get more damage than you do.
Yeah, I'm always playing a very simple young link. Like when he gets down tilt, instead of going for things like back air, mix-ups, and just up air to continue like keep him in the air, he just wants the nair, and it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, obviously there's some inexperience. His main is what Roy and Cloud. So there is some inexperience there, and I mean, when Kresent was living to 150 past that percentage, it would be a little easier for another youngling player who might get one hit of forward air into something or one hit of back air into something. But I mean, that's not going to stop him.
I'm about to say, my point was that like he might not be playing optimal, but he's doing such a good job of just playing the character to what it is. You know what I mean?
And that's a great thing about a zoner like youngling. You can play different styles with him. You're not forced to actually have to kind of succumb to the style of the character.
He's a very creative character.
Yeah, meanwhile, something like, that's actually going to be an early kill.
You almost saved him with Rush.
Yeah, Mentos was actually hoping that Kresent would recover earlier so he could steal that Rush for the recovery. So unfortunately, I believe that was an SD from Mentos' side, so that will make this a little bit closer. But I mean, he took the lead earlier
He
on.
didn't lose much from it.
SDs matter a ton in the matchup. I don't know. Was he just in a bad spot?
Unfortunately, I had missed it when it had happened, but it just looked like he dipped a little too low and just didn't be, I guess, fast enough to get back.
I think the main point about this matchup is like getting extra credit as soon as you take a stop.
How Kresent is playing, he's actually playing. Okay, so one of the main things I'm seeing Kresent do, he's extremely passive right now. He's very much slowing down the game, and Mintos is definitely slowing down with him. If Mintos played as fast as him right now, then he would definitely just be getting hit by all of Kresent's really passive options that he's using to throw while he's retreating. So it's very good. It's important for Mintos to play really slow here, which is what he's doing. He's being really smart that nair going through. That's fortunate.
It's so strange watching another there. I guess if you want to consider Mintos as young link as a young link in the area, which I will. Granted, look how close he's possibly going to defeat Kresent with this young link. It's crazy to see that 3 different younglings in this area play so different from one another. Toast being here last week, at this point he would have maybe gone down to up B like 4 times by now.
He's so good at hitting that setup.
I mean, Kresent's not in a bad spot. Obviously this is, there's a commentator who talked about how stocks are like a bucket, and you can fill up this bucket, but once the bucket's gone, then you have to move on. Right now, this bucket is full, but it's still there. The bucket's gonna take however much you can.
All right, we have a 1-stock game, completely even. It's best of 3, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. I have a question. Does Mega Man's forward smash hit below ledge when it's fully charged?
I believe it will.
Okay, that's important.
I feel like if your head sticks up higher, then probably.
Well, you said fully charged. That thing's big enough to hit fully charged. A smaller one, it might as well, depending on the character.
Another thing about that diversity, about even like local, you look at the top 3 young links in the world, like opinion-wise, it's like Kobe from Florida, Skittles from Nebraska, and Toast from NC Ohio. They all play a way different style, but they're so creative.
I mean, unfortunately, Kresent's in a kind of tough spot to make back as a zoner character, but he's literally made these comebacks over and over again. Count him out, and then out of nowhere, he just pulls it back. Granted, it's a lot easier when you play Ken, but I mean, with Mega Man, it's going to be a little bit harder, but don't count him out. Off stage, and a good spot to be.
Let's get surprised if I call him out with the down air on ledge.
That is such a dangerous option.
Putting that 2-pick right in the skull.
Definitely is. It's more important to...
I'm liking... Mintos is recognizing more of what we were talking about earlier, where if you're in a situation where you're winning, you don't want to press your advantage so hard where you put yourself in disadvantage for doing it, especially when you have no reason to. Look at that. He's just literally shooting arrows. He has no reason to go all the way over there.
At this point, that second kill, and
this is progressively getting more scary for Mintos because...
Look how close he's getting.
Really.
And in theory, this is Shoryuken percent, I believe.
Slowly playing.
He definitely got Shoryuken.
Kresent's doing the infamous playing the game but not playing the game. He's definitely just keeping him out. He's just
not a good spot to be for Mintos
really
now.
Bad.
He took a lot of percent in that exchange.
Once each of them start committing, that's going to be it.
But it works really well for both.
Mintos needs to wait for him to push a button because he's actually at up smash percent.
He's a multiple option percent.
Or Mintos.
They were
Yeah.
killing it immediately.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I thought he was gonna go for the up B. Just call it.
Oh,
Nair.
that would
Oh
kill
my
too.
god. Nair.
He might. Ooh.
That is smash. Or that forward tilt is
This
a lot of
is
shield.
literally just brought back without us even really noticing it, because that little exchange where they were not engaging but just shooting projectiles was not a good call.
Inch by inch.
Man, this is a really rough spot to be.
That's it.
Oh, that's it. That was
my gosh.
super close.
Very good on Mentos, but man, Kresent definitely kept that extremely close
That
for
was
what it
scary.
was.
I'm gonna go talk to some people. Oh wait, who's am I gonna be on stream next, or is someone else gonna be?
No, it's going to be stream versus.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Okay.
Guys, I have run through pistachios like I've never eaten
I'll see.
before.
You're saying? Okay.
I
Yeah.
have. I just haven't had it forever.
It's so crazy how certain matchups really like just change like that without you really noticing until like maybe a little further on. You're like, wait, what's going on?
Yep.
Because in theory, at that point, it would look beneficial for Mentos to keep doing that because he's not losing anything by not, playing into an area where he can get hit by other projectiles.
I'm just gonna.
But he literally lost that exchange. Luckily, he didn't lose the game, but he was definitely losing that exchange.
We're going to switch out some commentators. That's cool.
Do you want to kick me out?